wrong button. That's what happens when you're out of sync real quick. And it's another Sunday. Today we have a special guest, very special guest, Mr. Wayne Dante from Cricket Club Shop.
What's good? What's good?
We've been talking about this for quite some time, coming on the set to discuss his clothing line, the start, the beginning, how it all came to be,
Yes, sir.
and all the new drops that are happening. So as you're coming in the room, let us know you're here, and we'll get the show started shortly. Oh wow, my mic just jumped out. But there's a full-on Puerto Rican Day parade going on out here. Shout out to everybody that showed up for the parade. Sunset Park is definitely representing right now. They're outside. It is crazy. The avenue is packed, or it was, and they're starting to break everything down now. So shout out to everybody that came and represented from the old neighborhood. On a sad note, we want to send our condolences to the whole Barreto family. As everybody knows, Danny Barreto passed away, I believe, yesterday. It was a loss for the neighborhood. Always been a part of my childhood, specifically here in Sunset Park. So, condolences and, rest in peace to Danny Barreto. And today makes 1 year that Manny passed away. My baby brother lost his life last year. And
God bless you.
yeah, thank you. He we miss him, and we had a little memorial for him in front of the building today. It was good being around family and friends, and it was a pleasant moment. So love you, little bro. I know you're in a better place, and it was nice to see everybody out there celebrating your life and listening to your music. All right, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's run this track and get this show started so that we can get this conversation going. All right? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A. And today we have creator, designer, fashionista, Mr. Wayne Dante from Cricket Club Shop.
Yes, sir.
And he's here at the set. So let's welcome Mr. Wayne Dante. How you doing, brother?
Feel great, man. Thanks for having me.
Glad you could make it.
Yeah.
Through all this madness. So
you said Williamsburg, right?
No,
this is Sunset Park.
Sunset Park, yes.
Okay. On my way, I was like, I thought he said Williamsburg.
No, this is definitely not Williamsburg. No. Williamsburg is very hard to confuse with Sunset Park.
That's what I was saying. I was
completely.
Like, I'm seeing Verrazano Bridge. I'm like, no, this is not.
No. This is definitely not Williamsburg. It definitely is starting to turn into somewhat of a gentrified, yuppified area because there are developments that are going up that are going to be in that Williamsburg price range. It's happening all over Brooklyn. So
don't sell.
Yeah, don't sell. There's, it's funny you say that because there's quite a few families that are still. There's some families that are still holding out, and their homes are well worth,
right.
Amazing amounts. So why don't you tell everybody where you're from? Where does your story start?
Well, Wayne Dante, born in Saint Lucia, the Caribbean, migrated to New York and a very long time ago, in the 80s, early 80s. I won't say everything in one shot, but entrepreneur, owner of Wayne Dante Cricket Club / DJ, business owner, multiple businesses, and clothing line, passion for fashion. And here I am.
But so let me ask you a question, because coming to the States, but specifically coming to New York in that time period, in that pocket in the 80s, was a very special time, especially when you're talking about fashion.
Yes.
You know, we're talking about British Knights, we're talking about Wallabies, raining hard. We're talking about Sergios with the leather patches on the back of the pants. We're talking about suede front shirts, bally boots.
Yeah.
You know, that was a very wonderful time, you know, to be into clothing and heavy into fashion. And you saying that helps me further understand when I look at your clothing line,
right?
The inspiration, so to speak,
right?
Because that your clothing like speaks that time pocket to me.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes. Well, coming to New York in 1982, it was a big culture shock. You know, like I said, growing up in Saint Lucia, I grew up in I don't want to say well-to-do environment, but in a small village.
Right.
And everyone knew each other or knows each other.
Right.
And then coming over here, it's like I went to junior high school 123, which is it's like the stereotypical hip hop school. You could Google junior high school 123 has it's a lot of history. So going in there, like I said, everything was different. I noticed, the styles were different and a lot of catching up I had to do. I'm like, wow, these guys are dressed in the Lees and Shelter Adidas, the Pumas. And I'm like, what is that? And then I'm hearing the hip hop, guys reciting lyrics. I'm like, man, I got a lot of catching up to do. So I did a lot of research. I did a lot of soaked a lot of it in, and just being aware, and finally until it was like my turn to bust out.
Right.
But it was it was an experience.
So
put it in a nutshell.
So leaving the Caribbean, coming from the Caribbean and then being thrown into New York City. Jesus, in 82, man, I was
thrown to the wolves.
That having to acclimate to that environment, must have been like an experience in and of itself.
Yes,
and difficult at that.
Difficult, very difficult.
And kids weren't that accepting of Caribbean people back then.
Yes,
right.
Especially in my neighborhood. There's the Bronx has several different neighborhoods. There's the Uptown area, which is predominantly West Indian,
right?
And I grew up in the Soundview area, Bronx River, Soundview. So in my area, the guys made fun of you if you had the accent. To them, if you had an accent, you was Jamaican. So I was like, no, I'm from Saint Lucia. You Jamaican,
yeah.
Like what part of what part of Jamaica is Saint Lucia in?
Yo, that's hilarious.
So it was a struggle. And fights every day. And the kid from the islands, is not backing down.
Right.
Where it was kicking and throwing things, but you had to hold your own.
Right.
And like I said, at that time, it wasn't cool in that neighborhood to be a West Indian.
Definitely.
So it was rough.
Man. So you're thrust into this new environment, and it's a cold environment because now you have seasons on top of that. And I'm sure that's another thing that you have to become acclimated to.
Yes.
Right. So now you find, let's say a few years goes by. When you hit high school, is that where you start to find your pocket and you start to become more cemented and acclimated into your environment?
Yes. I would say maybe about 10th grade. See, you mentioned the seasons. I remember, man. These cold winters. About the brutal 80s winters.
They were real.
And I didn't really have a good relationship with my parents. I grew up with my grandparents in Saint Lucia, and I came over here and lived with my parents. So I didn't have the communication part. But I saw how, my father struggled. Not struggled, but he worked a lot of jobs.
Right.
Typical West Indian man, 5-6 jobs, 5-6 hustles. So I find it kind of difficult to ask him sometimes just for a jacket because I knew what he was going through to put food on the table.
Yeah.
So, I went through a lot of winters with that one jacket, So I said, 10th grade, when I got my first job, I'm getting the warmest jacket.
I'm going straight to Delancey.
Yeah, exactly. I'm getting the warmest jacket out. So then from there, from 10th grade, that was it. I bought all my stuff on my own. Nobody had to tell me anything. Nobody bought me anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when, from 10th grade, is when I kind of I found my pocket and I said, you know what? I could take it from there. I could take it from there. But I didn't bloom till 12th grade.
So 12th grade? Okay. So let me ask you a question, because I remember being I remember being a teen and a young man and being very aware of the different sense of fashion that people had, specifically when it came to Caribbean people, because I spent time in dance hall. Like I was running with Guyanese, Trini, and Jamaicans in dance hall in Brooklyn in that time, in the late 80s and early 90s. But I've always had a sense of understanding what certain cultures wore, like what they considered to be fashion. Right. So did your sense of fashion, was it more Americanized, or were you more?
No, I would say more Americanized, because the guys I hung with were not West Indian.
Right.
They were American. So I had to, in order to fit in, I followed their style.
Right.
I saw the guys that were, really doing it, so to speak, and I was like, you know what? I want to be like him. I want to dress like him. And in my neighborhood, like I said, the group of guys that I hung with, and even the West Indian guys that I hung with, they dressed American way.
Okay.
So we had like I said, I had the American crew and the West Indian crew, but they both kind of like dressed alike.
Okay.
And the thing about my crew is they didn't wear the stuff that everybody wore. So it was always about getting that exclusive piece and bringing it back to the block. And that's how I was raised. It's like finding, like in high school, I wanted to be a messenger. You know why? Because the messengers, they all knew where the spots were in Midtown.
Yeah, because you're hitting all the offices and whatnot. Exactly. Yeah, that's a fact.
So while everybody shopped on Southern Boulevard or 3rd Avenue, most of the guys did not go past 125th Street. The messengers had jobs in Manhattan. They were all over Manhattan and coming back to school with stuff you never saw.
That's a fact.
So I was like, nah, I want to be a messenger.
That's crazy.
I want to be a messenger so I could find the spots in Midtown and come back to the block and show off these exclusive pieces.
It's crazy because we all kind of went through that growing up. There were staple items that everybody got. Right. Footwear, hats, things like that, right? But when it came to a knit, a button down, a certain kind of denim, you wanted to do something different and venture out and go find spots, that made you stand out. Yeah. And the funny thing is, people would really be offended. Yeah. Like, if you got something and somebody got it too, they're like, oh, man, yo, why you wearing my shit?
I got into fights over that.
For real?
I got into fights. I remember one day I went to the Timberland spot on I think it was on Madison Avenue or something. Madison Avenue, higher 60s.
Okay.
So nobody knew about that spot, in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So every week I would go there and cop exclusive pieces and come back, just to show off. And then one day I remember I see a guy wearing the same thing I'm wearing. So I'm like, why you buying my stuff? And long story short, it escalated. But it was serious. It was serious. If somebody wore something that you had and they were wearing it wrong,
you took offense.
You took offense, or you would not wear it again.
Yeah.
I just paid $600 for my piece, and you
Uh-huh.
rocking it wrong. I'm not wearing my stuff again.
Yeah, you making me look crazy
You're
out
making me
here.
look bad. So now I got to search for something else.
Yeah.
Just to come back and show you. You know what I'm saying? You could have that. I'm on to something else already.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you really understand the conversation that's happening here. We've had quite a few people on when it comes to dealing in fashion. Salute to Miss Kalia Clark, who I had a conversation with this week. She's a stylist. She's doing big things out here. But this is something that if you grew up in New York, especially in the 80s, man, it's just something when you come from nothing and you struggle and you start to make your own, you take that shit serious, right?
It's not a game.
So Mr. Dante coming in today, and I'm just observing him, right? His whole ensemble is a statement. The Stan Smiths, the cream coordination with the cricket, the cricket emblem, the cricket logo on the shirt. It's a whole thing. And when you see this, anybody who's from New York City will go, yeah, that's a New York cat. That's a New York cat.
I take New York. I take Uptown everywhere with me. Everywhere.
Salute to Soundview, man. So now, at what point in your journey, like you make it through high school, you know, I'm sure you start venturing into different sort of businesses. At what point do you say to yourself, you know what, fashion is the thing for me? Like, how does that happen?
Well, like I said, it went from being laughed at, right?
Hey, we got it. It's growing up. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It went from being laughed at when I came here to where did you get that from? So when I started hearing that, where did you get that from? I said, oh, man.
You was on to something.
I made it. That was my stamp of approval right there.
Hell yeah.
You know, so yeah, so when you know, my friends were like, yo, what is that? Where did you get this from? Then they started asking me for pointers. Like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? I'm like, wait a minute. I think I got something here. I got a little niche, you know, because I had and then you got to carve your own style.
Yeah. You can't just do it like everybody else is doing it.
Everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, so then I started venturing out, like I said, finding spots and coming back and with exclusive stuff. And if I was something, or if I told somebody something, it was like, but that's you.
Right.
You would rock it like that.
Right.
You know, I cannot, then, you know, they'll say, I cannot rock it like that. That's how you rock it. So now I started noticing I have a little, you know, I got my own path. And my path was acceptable. So from then I kind of realized I got a little something there. So let me just nurture it throughout time.
And was it something that because you know a lot of people need to understand when you're starting your own business, especially when it comes to fashion, there's so much that goes into it. You have to source material. You have to make sure that your logo is unique unto itself.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that nobody else has. There's so much. And then production. You know, you just don't put a shirt together and that's it. It's done. There's a whole process.
Yes.
You know, how do you start to make all the pieces come together for yourself, especially without knowing anything? Like, where does the education of that come from? Sorry.
Well, I did retail. I worked for Banana Republic.
Okay.
I was an assistant manager there, Fifth Avenue store. Did assistant manager. Then I moved on to Nordstrom. Salesperson, $1 million seller there for a few years. And, you know, I kind of like gained or gathered all that knowledge. And then I said, you know, I could take this on my own, you know, but I still, it was just a thought at that time, you know? And then I kind of like, after I left Nordstrom, I got into fire prevention, but I did DJing. And then a friend of mine said, you know what, now the DJs, you know, is a big thing, but you got to brand yourself. You know, the clothing line still didn't hit yet,
Right.
He said, you got to brand yourself. I was like, okay, all right. So I started putting out WD shirts, Wayne Dante, just for promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And then my partner, shout out to my partner, Randy.
Salute to Randy.
And shout out to the rest of the team, Vanessa and Derek. So my partner, Randy, said, you know what? Let's start a clothing line. You know? So I was like, yeah, we could start a clothing line, but what are we gonna name it? I cannot just be Wayne Dante, but you know, Wayne Dante is cool for now, but what is Wayne Dante? You know, we need a story.
Yeah.
So then, you know, I wouldn't even come up with the ideas that we had in the beginning. But then, you know, Randy said, you know, think of something that you're passionate about. Go back to your childhood, you know, like when you were really doing it, and you know, something that you know that we could tell a story.
Right.
So, you know, I thought about it, and out of the blue, it's cricket. No one is doing cricket.
Nope.
I spoke to my wife. She's a big cricket fan. Her mother is a big cricket fan. So we came up with the logo. I shot out to my guy, Derek, who is our artist / designer. Derek, I need a logo. Went back and forth. I consulted with my wife. No, but he's facing the wrong way. You know? So then one day, Derek did it. He posted it online. I said, what? This is it. Take it down immediately. We're running with that. So then, you know, we got the logo, and we decided, you know, Wayne Dante Cricket Club. And cricket is something I was always passionate about, right. You know, and it's a classy sport, but we'll get into that a little later, you know, and that's how it came about.
See, here's the thing, and people may not understand. I'm sharing the webpage now with them so they can see the pieces. Now, people, if you're looking at these pieces, of course, there's general pieces. He has knit hats, you know, that all purpose. You can wear those in the winter. Everybody makes those. But when you see this art on canvas sweatshirt, this is something that, you know, you throw on and people are going to be like, yo, you know, there's certain ways to do things.
Right.
And this is the way to do it. You know, because if you're going to put something on and you want to like have attention.
Right.
This is what you do. You come here because these pieces are just so unique.
Right.
So how do you go through the process of bringing these pieces to life? Because there's so many different levels. There's very casual and conservative pieces that you have that you can wear. And then there's other things like I just pointed to, the art on canvas sweater, that when you wear that, that's eye-catching. Right. Somebody's gonna be like, hey, you know, where did you get that sweater?
Well,
you know,
it's you know, it's your personality or my personality. You know, some days you want to be, you know, chill. Some days you want to be flamboyant.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I try to bring my personality into the clothing, you know, and then I travel a lot, you know. So, and then you'll be surprised at the things that'll spark inspiration. You know, being from the Caribbean, we like a lot of color.
Yes.
And me being from New York, you know, I try to keep it monotone sometimes.
Right.
You know, just
clean.
You know, so I try to do a mixture.
Have the balance.
So I try to show both sides, my New York side and my Caribbean side. One of the pieces, as you can see, there was the golf inspired the Ace on the Green, which is I think that's the one that you got. So on my vacation to Bermuda, you know, just driving around, two pieces were inspired. We got the Hamilton, which is just a mixture of the greenery on the island. You know, I was like, you know what? That's something we could bring to life and make it tropical at the same time. And then the golf course. You see the different patches on the golf course, the different terrain. I said, you know, let's try to make a destination piece that reflects that kind of lifestyle. You know, so basically a lot of pieces comes from my experience, my travels, and you got pieces just getting inspired by just walking down Fifth Avenue. You know, so it's a multiple. It's the personality.
See, and I think people, especially from New York, if you're from New York, man, this is a clothing line for everybody. Because again, it gives you the balance. There's like Wayne was saying, there's flamboyant pieces and then there's clean pieces. So the everyday wear, you can just throw something on that's nice, and it doesn't have to be crazy with the color,
Right.
but it looks lean and mean. When you throw it on, it says something.
Right.
You know, and a lot of people, I know I do, when I feel to do something and I'm gonna get dressed for an event or go hang out or whatever it is, and I'm throwing something on, this is what you want to do. You want to make a statement.
Yes.
Even when it's not loud,
Exactly.
you still
Yes.
you saying something.
Yes.
So Wayne, now that you guys, how many years has it been going now with Cricket Club? How long have you guys been in business?
Well, I say that, like I said, the idea came about 2007, but you know, throwing it around and not being confident, you know, we didn't start till 2016.
Oh wow. Wow.
Remember, I still had my other business, and I was still DJing, and I was still promoting just the DJ line, you know, on the Wayne Dante WD. But we kind of took the leap of faith in 2016. We went online and decided, you know, it's Cricket Club from here on out.
Oh wow. Now, what has been the reception like? Are you getting feedback that is sort of driving more of what you're going to be doing in the future? Are you looking to dress artists? Are you looking to, you know, do product placement in that way? Like, what are some of the things that you guys are hoping to do?
Well, eventually we would like to, you know, open up a brick and mortar. Eventually we'd like to be in department stores.
Okay.
You know, up and down the East Coast, then, you know, even national and even international, you know. But we're taking our time with it. You know, in the beginning, we were approached by different stylists, like, you know, put this on this rapper, or put this on this person, or put this on that person. But we felt like not everyone fit the image of the brand.
Right.
You know, like, for example, I had my other business. It took me 10 years to build that business, right? So
Right.
I know what it is to sacrifice. I know what it is for longevity. I know what it is to take my time. So same thing with Cricket Club. I did not want to blow up, so to speak, overnight.
Right.
I want to take my time, learn the process, and make sure everything is under control. You know, I don't want to just put it on this person and then this becomes the next big thing overnight, and then I cannot handle it.
Right.
You know, so but this is where my guy Randy comes in.
Randy's the balance.
Randy's the balance.
Okay.
You know, Randy makes sure that everything is image controlled, or does it fit the brand? I mean, sometimes I might want to take a leap and say, no, hold on. And you need that. You need that checks and balance.
You definitely do.
You know,
it's important in a relationship and business to have that balance. And not only that, and I'm going to say this because I'm seeing how you're speaking of Randy, the respect that you guys have for each other if you want to leap and he's like, wait, hold on a second, you actually give consideration to what he's telling you and process it.
Yes.
And it's super important because it seems like you're not really pressed to make Cricket Club, like you said, blow up overnight. Taking your time is super important because you want to make sure everything that you do is
right.
You know, and it's just like the whole fit.
Yes.
You don't rush that.
Don't rush that.
Shout out to Randy, man. I'll be seeing Randy and you on the lives. And speaking of which, I'm gonna pull up this product right now. I just did that a second ago. Let me pull it up again. There's a new product dropping tomorrow.
Yes.
And yes, I am copying another piece. I think I'm gonna cop my son this piece because he has a birthday coming up. And this right here, I know I shared it a second ago, but I'm gonna share it again. And I want Wayne to talk about this piece because, again,
I know the mock-up doesn't really do enough justice for that piece. But we will be taking some pictures tomorrow, and hopefully this week I'll be posting. Trust me, when you see that, this is one of those pieces that's gonna grab attention. You know,
Got my attention.
I threw in a lot of colors in there.
Yeah.
In the summertime, and it's just an ensemble. I mean, I don't want to tell you where exactly the inspiration came from. But the idea is just celebration of color.
Nice.
Celebration of color.
Listen, I'm trying to imagine. Is it the same sort of material that
same sort of material?
Oh,
and the good thing about this, you know, you don't have to wear. It's interchangeable, so you can wear the shorts and wear a solid top. Yeah. To cool it down a little bit.
Yes.
You know, or you could wear both and make that bold
statement. But what's crazy is there's a lot going on here. And that's what I really appreciate about the line. Again, like, people may misunderstand because I have Wayne here with me that I'm saying these things because he's here. No, I was saying these things before me and Wayne met, looking at the line, because the line is serious. The meticulous details that goes into the pieces, you could tell that there's a passion there. Yes. And if you're into fashion and you're into, you know, saying something with your clothes, this is just a line to do it with, man. There's something for everybody, even the ladies. Yes. So you gotta, when I see something like this, man, you gotta respect it, especially it's coming from New York City. This is my hometown, you know, and I especially want to give brothers like this a platform to talk and reach the people, because you got to support. You definitely got to do that.
Thank you.
Of course. So what are we looking forward to for the latter part of 2022? Like, what are we looking to do?
All right. Before I move on, I want to give my team another shout out.
Of course, please do.
All right. So shout out to Vanessa. She handles the women's side.
Okay.
And also consults with us on the men's side as well.
Of course.
And I did mention Derek, who is our artist / designer. So looking forward, since I mentioned Vanessa, we are trying to bring a women's line. We do have women's pieces now, but we feel like
grow it.
We have to grow. Nice. We have to grow the women's presence.
Right.
I think maybe like 90% of our customers are men.
Right.
You know, but a lot of women buy for their men. You know,
that's a fact.
And then we get a lot of, you know, we do get a lot of requests for women's items. So Vanessa, we got to get our stuff together and present these things that we have in the stash to the customers. So yeah, we have, you know, some very intricate designs, similar to the men, maybe even more extravagant.
Oh, really? Oh,
maybe
man,
more extravagant than the men.
Okay,
but we're just trying to find that right manufacturer,
right,
to do these extravagant pieces that, trust me, Vanessa has in line. Vanessa and Derek, oh man, they created some crazy stuff.
Wow.
You know, crazy dope stuff. You know, and the men, we're gonna we got a few more jackets, like you saw the varsity jackets. I got some stuff coming. I don't want to let too much out. And look out for this next piece that's gonna drop. I'm thinking about dropping the end of summer, early fall transition piece. That's gonna be serious.
Oh, really?
That's really gonna. Oh, and I forget the polos. The polos, yes, a lot. Like you saw the polos that I was wearing.
Yeah.
A lot of people are asked. So we got 3 polos dropping this summer. All you guys have been asking about the polos. Yes, we got 3 polos on. The first one you saw, the one you saw me on the boat with, that's just regular. That's just a sample. That's just a regular.
Just
Wait till
regular.
you see the other 2 pieces that are dropping.
Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, you don't understand. This guy's speaking my language right now, because again, if you look at the product speaks for itself, man. And it's specifically being a New Yorker, there's a certain thing that when you see it, you're just like, oh yeah, it's just a vibe, right? And not only that, we're reaching out to the West Coast as well. We reach as far as Florida, but we touch the West. People on the West Coast, they with it. They like that flavor. Yeah. Not everybody's wearing khakis and flannels out in the West Coast. People are actually getting styled out. Yeah. You know what I mean? So everybody in the West Coast, make sure you go over to Cricket Club shop and check out their wares. It just speaks New York City to me. It's crazy. But shout out to Vanessa and what's the other gentleman's name? Derek. Shout out to Vanessa and Derek. And I'd be very excited to see what she brings forth for the women's line.
Yes.
I'm really I'm hopeful even more so to see what you guys do with your varsities, because a lot of people, not me, but a lot of people are very big fans of the varsity jacket, right? That look,
right?
Because the varsity jacket can go a lot of ways. You can go a little dressy with a varsity, and you can go all the way hood with a varsity, because you can pull off so much with it. But your colorways are crazy, man. You know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. But so we're gonna open up more for the women's line, and she got some things in the chamber, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
We got a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. But like I said, it's just finding that right, and a lot of all your manufacturers that are consulting us or reaching out, we're taking our time. We're taking our time, and it's it's costly. Try this manufacturer, try that manufacturer, try that manufacturer. This one wants a minimum. This one wants this amount for a sample. It's a lot. It's a lot. But bear with us. Eventually, we'll get to you. But we have a solid team, and we will get it out eventually.
It's funny that you're bringing that up as well, because we just had Yusuf L, the owner of Giza Footwear. He was here,
right?
And he was discussing bringing a product from the ground up, and then getting manufacturing, and how difficult it is.
Yeah.
Because there's only but so many manufacturing houses, and then there's minimums. There's a whole lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
And people don't understand those intricacies of the business. It's not very easy.
It's not.
And not only that, time consuming and costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of money.
And you just don't want to have anybody putting your stuff out there, because it's not going to be the quality that you need it to be.
Right.
And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. This stuff is quality. If you want real quality made, where did you get that from? You need to head over to Cricket Club shop and just go cop them pieces, man, because they serious. All right, let me stop blowing smoke. So Wayne, all right, we're gonna be trying to open up the women's line. Is there any sort of plans, or do you ever want to delve into like denim or footwear, or is that something that we're gonna leave that for another time?
With my experience with denim, right? It was always hard for me to find the right pair of denim. When I used to shop other brands,
right?
So I kind of figured the same way. I don't want to, waste a lot of money. Then you got to go through a 32, a 34, a bootleg, a slim fit, this or that. It's just too much.
Yeah.
I think maybe when we, when we grow a little more,
right,
we'll be able to
venture
get into that, but not right now. Footwear, same thing.
Tough game.
I love footwear. I love boots. I love sneakers. I love shoes, but I'm going to take my time.
Let me tell you something. This gentleman is super calculated. Another reason why I could really appreciate what he's doing, because it translates into the product.
Yes.
If you look at I'm going to pull it up again. If you look at the product, you can tell that this gentleman is taking his time. His team is very meticulous about what they're doing, and everything that they put out, again, I'm sorry, it's just quality. And it's not because I have him here. I've watched it before, and now that he's here, I'm sharing this with everybody because you can see it for yourself. This is not stuff that you just run downtown and go get off the rack. No. You know what I mean? This is, and the buckets, bucket hats is a classic New York fashion piece. And the fitting, I got one on right now. When I put it on, I felt like I was 5 years old because my father used to wear buckets when I was a kid. And he had them.
I feel like I'm in high school. I feel like I'm in 1988 every time I throw
it. And again, the whole ensemble, it's one thing. you know. And then let me tell you something. I never thought, and I'm looking at it now. If you look at the webpage, they're running the Crest rope hat, right? Now, when I first saw them, it threw me for a second because I was like, wait a minute. This is a homage to something that was done back in that time as well. And then I was like, wait, are cats really going to be able to pull it off? And then I saw a few shots with them and I was like, yo, these people really aren't ready. You really have to go and check it out, man. This is just.
And you know what's funny? Like we consult and we, starts off as a thought and, we go over it, we put it on paper, we put it out, we market it, and then you'll be surprised, a stranger will send a message and say, oh man, I want to wear this product, but I'm going to wear this product in this type of environment, or this or that. And then they tell you your story. That's the ultimate feeling. I'm like, oh man, thank you. You get it.
Yeah, man.
You get it. So it tells me like, my team and we're doing a good job.
You're doing something right. No, you definitely are. And again, when I look at the pieces, there is something for there's not anything here that anybody could go, I'm not feeling that. No, there's something for everybody here. Especially New York cats. Every time I speak, like my cousin just went to Brazil, right? And he's a business owner, he's an artist, he travels extensively. But he also loves fashion. And when he finds lines like this, he'll kill them because it's like, now you find this gem, you're not going to find this anywhere else. Right. Like I'm looking at this Paper Expressions varsity jacket that you guys did. Come on. Like people, if you want to look cookie cutter, you can do that. You can go get the Vesuvo jeans or whatever it is that, everybody's wearing the same old thing. But if you want unique cuts, if you want to look like fit, this is what you want to do. So Dante, like, oh man, in the next 2 years, is it important for you to remain very grounded in that you don't want to go overboard and try to have be the next FUBU, which is I can't believe I even used that word along Cricket Club, but you don't want to be a mass-produced line, right?
Right. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We're open to collaborations, but it has to make sense.
Right.
We don't want something that's gonna blow us up, but then tear us down.
Right.
At the same time, you could go for the quick buck, but then now what? Now you're forced to sell it out. Because you cannot handle it anymore. I want to have creative control for as long as possible. And still remain grounded, still remain to my core customers, guys who grew up with the brand, who were there from the beginning. And I noticed that with a lot of brands. I mean, you can, should I name drop?
Listen, this is your moment, brother. You could do whatever you want. Shout them out.
I remember in the 90s when Timberland became the big thing.
Right.
When we were wearing chuckers,
right,
and 40s, a lot of people were not wearing them.
Nope.
When we started wearing constructions, a lot of people were still not wearing them. When we started venturing out and people started seeing us wearing it, then the rappers got onto it. Then Timberland became Timberland. It became the big thing.
Right.
Same thing with Vast, the boots.
Yep.
I'm saying boots because I was a boot guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Same thing with Vast. When I remember coming to the block, no one knew about Vast. Same thing. Then Vast, the black, then the burgundy, then the blue and the beige. Then Timberland and Vash, they started making these crazy colors because everybody was mass produced. They wanted to, to keep up.
Yep.
Then they forgot about us.
Yeah.
They forgot about the construction guy.
Mm-hmm.
They forgot about the chucker guy. And then they kind of like lost their crowd. So I don't want that. I don't want that to happen to us.
And not only that, let me ask you a question. Do you feel like Timberland has lost their quality in production?
I don't know. I haven't bought a pair. The only thing I bought the 40s that came out because
classic.
That's a classic guy.
Yeah.
And they still, they're
still 40s.
They're still sturdy.
Yeah.
Once in a while I'll buy the construction, but for some time I felt that they fell off. Because like I said, with growth, you forget your core audience, and that's what I don't want to do. I'm gonna grow and not forget about the guys that grew up with the brand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna forget about the day one pieces that we had. I'm gonna keep it exclusive. Some stuff will not come out,
right?
Every year,
right?
But the theme or the main crush of the brand will not. If I have control of it, it will not go away.
I think and I want to say this to you respectfully. Mm-hmm. I think that holding on to that very train of thought is what will keep your brand the monster that it should be. Mm-hmm. Because in reality, as soon as you go, like you lose what you said, your core. Mm-hmm. Listen, the last time I bought a pair of Timberland Constructions, which is about 6 years ago, production it's not even the same boot. It's not even worth the money that they're charging. And I haven't bought a pair since. The 40 is a classic boot, and the 40 is only a boot you're gonna find a New Yorker wearing.
Right.
You will never see somebody from the Midwest.
I just want to be in touch with my, certain things when you put on, you like I said, you feel it takes me back to my era.
Of course, and that's the thing. You maintaining that mindset will make your brand remain a monster. Because as soon as you start forgetting about your core and you're just thinking about the bread, we all got to think. We all got to make money.
Right.
But when that's your focus, your shit's gonna be in Walmart, son. And we don't want that.
Not at all.
No, not at all. And salute to everybody out there that's doing it and gambling on themselves, man. We very much appreciate and champion everybody who's an entrepreneur, who is gambling on themselves and trying to do it on their own. That's sorely important. We need ownership in our community. So we salute to all of y'all, but we specifically salute to the brothers from Cricket Club Shop because, man, fire. So Wayne, is there anything that you would hope to, in the next, let's say, year and a half, 2 years, want to accomplish with your team that you have intact right now for the brand itself? Is there some sort of collab maybe that somebody out there that you would like to work with, or specifically when it comes to your brand?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have a few people in sight. It's crazy. In the past month or two, the brand has grown. The visibility has grown crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think like in a week we hit 500,000 views.
Oh, wow!
In the last week, so a lot of people are seeing it. I'm getting calls. I'm getting texts from celebrities.
Nice.
Saying, "Oh, I like your product." And I'm getting likes from people in high places.
Hey,
I don't want to say no names yet, but I'm getting likes and views from people in very high places. So I know they're seeing it. But like I said, we're open. You guys like what you see, holler at us. Let's talk. Let's have a sit down. And like I said, it has to make sense. But in the next 2 years, the brand is gonna grow. The brand is gonna grow. Same way like you caught it. You're gonna tell somebody else. That person is gonna tell the next person. It's gonna grow tremendously, but organically. You know,
That's the best way.
That's the best way.
You know, the grassroots move is the best way to go.
Yeah.
And again, the product speaks for itself. And if anybody out there who's watching who knows Wayne or anybody on his team and has come into contact with them, if this is the demeanor and the mindset of this brand, trust and know that this brand has a long-standing foundation already set.
Yep.
And it's going to be making noise. And if you slow to get on, listen, I don't know what to tell you, man. I can't not only just put the product in your face, I can't buy it for you either. You got to come and make that purchase, make it happen.
And shout out to my, guys who are not, let's say, on the corporate team. You know, I got a lot of good friends. I got a lot of guys that, I mean, my circle is kind of small, but I also get a lot of positive feedback from, friends, you know, and they know what I'm about. They know, my style. So they kind of give me pointers, some even things I might have forgotten about. You like, you remember when we used to do this? Remember when we used to rock this? You should come out with this. It's like, oh yeah, you're right. So shout out to them.
Salute to Soundview, man, and salute to my guy, Minnesota Money Boss Players,
shout
man.
Out to Minnesota. Shout out to Father Time.
There you go.
Father Time. You gotta have Father Time on your show. Trust me.
Oh, for real? Oh, Father Time. I'm gonna have to reach out, bro. And salute to my guy from the BX, Mr. Al King, man. I hope you're feeling better, brother. Hopefully we'll see each other soon. So Wayne, before we get up and out of here, is there any well wishes you want to give anybody? Any news you want to let the people know that's going to be coming down the pipeline?
Well, I just, first of all, like I said, shout out again to the team.
Salute.
Guys who want to get into this business, just prepare for sacrifice. Are you in it for the long run? It's just not an overnight thing. If you want it to be overnight, it's quick. You could print stuff on a T-shirt. You could, get the latest slogan, go out on the street corner and pump it, and make a lot of money if that's what you want. But if you want, a brand like what we have, prepare yourself for the long haul. And it's not easy, but believe in yourself, believe in your brand, that no one do not compromise, that no one steer you off your path, and you'll do well.
You heard it here, man. Don't compromise and don't let nobody deter you from your mission. Always stay true to that and you'll be all right. And if you believe it, look at the brand, Cricket Club Shop. They are not fucking playing. And, sorry I got to tell you that way, but that's the reality of it. This brand is amazing, and I hope everybody watching, listen, patronize, support, because that's what we need to do, especially nowadays, especially with something as special as this, because this brand is that. It's special. All right? So I want to thank my guest, Mr. Wayne Dante, from coming all the way down from the BX, man, and making it through all this madness and giving us his time.
Not a problem.
And salute to his partners and everybody over at the Cricket Club Shop, man.
Yes.
And tomorrow, that new drip is dropping. Yes. So make sure you go and cop that.
Yeah.
I know I am. So,
show them the new hat, the hat that you'll be rocking.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up a second. Let me pull this out.
The last one.
My guy was not only courtesy enough to come and grace me with his time, but he brought your boy a gift. And it's the last one of it. It's the blue rope joint, the Cricket Club rope joint.
With the crest on the side.
And this is the hard part right here, son. This is official.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna know what hit them.
I need you to rock that on your next show.
Listen, tune in. You're gonna see me with it on, kid. I'm a hat guy.
Yeah.
I'm a hat guy. I love hats. Yeah. Oh, but I really appreciate that. And tomorrow the drip comes out. I'm gonna have to go cop that joint too.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna be supporting Cricket Club Shop heavy.
Thank you.
Of course. And another thing, well, we're going to talk about that after the show. I don't want to blow that up just yet. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the show, man, I'm glad you all made it. We'll be back next Sunday with another amazing show. Shout out to everybody who came through the old neighborhood and represented for the parade. Salute to the Barreto family. Condolences to y'all. Rest in peace to my baby bro. And we'll see you Sunday.
And call me again soon. I want not soon, but down the line. We'll do this again.
Oh, you already know. You already know. Brother's reading my mind. We'll see you next week, people.